year that he plays in the big leagues, is he going to win the MVP? You know, was kind of saying that he wanted me to say it to his face. Destiny for me to find this shirt today, and I bought it and I wore it.
조시 도널드슨은 2007년 전체 48번으로 시카고 컵스의 지명을 받은 유망주였지만 빅리그 데뷔는 오클랜드 애슬레틱스로 트레이드된 이후 시작됐습니다. 2013년이 돼서야 오클랜드에서 빅리그 풀타임 시즌을 보낸 조시 도널드슨은 그의 타율 3할 1푼 24홈런 93타점을 기록하며 리그 최고의 3루수로 비상을 준비합니다. 2014년 11월 18일 조시 도널드슨은 토론토 블루제이스로 트레이드됩니다. 당시 오클랜드는 도널드슨을 트레이드한 대가로 브렛 로리, 프랭클린 바레토, 켄탈 그레이브먼, 션 놀린을 받았는데 이 트레이드는 결과적으로 오클랜드 빌리빈 단장의 완패로 끝이 납니다. 도널드슨은 토론토 블루제이스 합류 후 꾸준히 MVP급 성적을 기록했고 토론토에서 맞이한 첫 시즌인 2015년에는 실제로 아메리칸 리그 MVP를 수상했으며 토론토가 23년 만에 가을 야구 무대에 오르는데 큰 역할을 하게 됩니다. 반면에 오클랜드가 토론토로부터 받은 4명의 선수들은 저조한 성적을 내거나 다른 팀으로 트레이드되는 등 제대로 된 역할을 하지 못하면서 빌리빈 단장한테 흑역사를 안깁니다. 2018년 조시 도널드슨은 FA를 앞두고 최악의 부진을 겪습니다. 부상으로 처참한 시즌을 보냈는데요. 결국 토론토는 그의 8월 31일 웨이버 트레이드로 도널드슨을 클리브랜드 인디언스로 트레이드 시킵니다. 2018년 11월 26일 조시 도널드슨은 애틀랜타 브레이브스와 1년 2,300만 달러의 계약을 맺으면서 1년 FA 재수를 선택합니다. 2020년 1월 15일 미네소타 트윈스는 조시 도널드슨과 4+1년 9,200만 달러의 도장을 찍습니다. 연봉이 2,300만 달러인 셈인데요. 이는 메이저리그 역대 33세 이상 FA 선수 중 1998년 34세였던 케빈 브라운이 LA 다저스와 7년 1억 500만 달러에 계약한 이후 두 번째로 높은 금액입니다. 당시 도널드슨의 성적을 살펴보면 2015년부터 2017년까지 3시즌 연속 홈런 30개 이상을 기록했고 2018년 부상으로 부진을 면치 못했지만 2019 시즌 애틀랜타 브레이브스에서 155경기에 출전해 타율 2할 5푼 9리 37홈런 94타점을 기록하며 자신의 존재감을 증명했습니다. 도널드슨은 2019년 내셔널리그 올해의 재기상을 받았는데요. 당시 다저스 소속이었던 유현진 선수랑 올해의 재기상을 놓고 경합을 벌이기도 했었죠. 2021 시즌 조시 도널드슨의 성적은 135경기에 출전해 26홈런 72타점, 타율 2할 4푼 7리로 다소 아쉬운 기록을 나타냈지만 고질적인 종아리 부상과 햄스트링 부상을 딛고 이룬 성적이라 박수를 보내는 팬들도 있습니다. 조시 도널드슨은 2014년부터 2016년까지 세 차례 올스타에 뽑혔고 2015-2016년에는 아메리칸 리그 실버 슬러거를 2015년에는 아메리칸 리그 MVP와 행크 아론상을 수상했습니다. 조시 도널드슨의 전성기는 2015년부터 몸담았던 토론토 블루제이스 때입니다. 그래서인지 지금도 토론토와 맞붙는 경기가 펼쳐지면 토론토 팬들은 도널드슨을 향해 기립박수를 보냅니다. 도널드슨은 메이저리그 관련 이슈에 대해서 거침없는 발언을 내뱉는 선수죠. 투수의 이물질 이슈가 불거졌을 때는 시카고 화이트삭스 루카스 지올리트를 향해 투수의 이물질 비판 발언을 서슴지 않았습니다. 그는 이 일로 인해 화이트삭스 팬들한테서 강한 비판을 받았는데요. 인터뷰 자리에 할 말 있어? 라고 적힌 티셔츠를 입고 나와선 난 동료들을 격려하고 흥분시키는 게 내 임무이고 그러기 위해 이 팀에 왔다고 주장했습니다. 투수의 이물질 논란과 관련해서도 당당히 자기 주장을 펼쳤는데요. 규정을 어긴 사람은 내가 아닌 일부 투수들이고 이물질을 사용한 그들이 노이트 노런 퍼펙트 게임을 만들며 타자들을 상대해서 많은 돈을 벌고 있다고 주장했습니다. 깨끗하게 투구한 투수들보다 더 많은 돈을 벌고 있는데 자신뿐만 아니라 많은 사람들이 이 일에 대해 분노하고 있다며 정면 돌파를 선언했습니다. 제가 도널드슨에게 흥미를 느낀 건 블라드미르 게레로 주니어와 오타니 쇼헤이의 MVP 경쟁이 펼쳐졌을 때 도널드슨은 논리적인 이유를 내세워 블라드미르가 MVP를 받아야 한다고 주장했기 때문입니다. 도널드슨은 거친 이미지와 예상과는 달리 자신의 생각을 잘 전달할 줄 아는 훌륭한 인터뷰였습니다. 미네소타 트윈스 홈구장에서 만났던 조시 도널드슨과의 인터뷰를 소개합니다. 당시 토론토 블루제이스와의 경기를 앞두고 있던 상황이어서 상대팀으로 만난 토론토에 대한 도널드슨의 생각도 들어볼 수 있었습니다.
I mean, it's good. It's good to go up there to Toronto. It's a nice experience for me to be able to go up there. You know, at the end of the day, there's still some guys there that were in the organization when I was there, so it's good to see their faces. And ultimately, at the end of the day, we still got to play the game and compete to win. Lourdes Gurriel, Bichette, Vladdy Jr., a lot of the younger guys were in the minor leagues, and I would see them sparingly, but not a whole lot. I mean, this year it's been tough. I mean, we dealt with some injuries, you know, probably underachieved in a lot of areas, but at the end of the day, we're still going out there and competing and trying to win. Adrian Beltre was definitely a guy who I looked at when I was coming up in the game at third base. It was nice to be able to meet him and play with him on the same team. So I had a lot of respect for Adrian Beltre. I mean, Chapman's probably defensively one of the better third basemen in the game right now. Probably the best. I think really the third base position overall is a generally stacked position. I think there's a lot of guys that are really good over there. I think probably the RBIs, being able to get to, you know, I've only been over 100 one time in my career, and that was the year that I did it. So that was, you know, that was pretty cool. Great teammates. I love playing with them, fierce competitors, and all of us kind of fed off each other. You know, like I said, our lineup still gets talked about a lot to this day, and I'm proud to be a part of that. Yeah, I mean, it's huge. To be able to go out there and be the most valuable player, the game is, you know, it's a high bar, it's a high standard. For me, I had a special season, but it wasn't just me, it was our team, it was our coaching, it was everybody. Our fan base supporting us. It's an awesome experience. I just think, like, if looking at it, you know, trying to be as fair to both sides as possible, you know, because Shohei's up there as well, and it's not to disrespect Shohei's season, it's incredible. I think if you look at it based off the DH standpoint, what he's doing, him hitting and pitching is phenomenal, but just in the DH position, which is what he's primarily doing, there hasn't ever been a player that's won it that was a DH. He's pitching, so obviously that adds value to his game, and it's something that we've never seen before, right? To me, I think if he wins it just based off because he pitches too, and yes, he is having a good season, but where do you go from here? Like, every year that he plays in the big leagues, is he going to win the MVP? Not to say that he's not valuable. I think from a day-to-day basis, and this is what I tried to explain earlier, Vlad is probably impacting games on a day-to-day basis a little bit more because Shohei doesn't play every day and he pitches. He hasn't made every fifth start. If he'd have made every fifth start, it'd be a little bit different possibly for me, where I would think. But ultimately, and what I said last week was the tipping point for me is if the Blue Jays make the postseason or not. If they make the postseason, then I think that he has a real chance to win it, because ultimately we play the game to win. My own opinion is if your team's not going to the postseason, it's hard to be the most valuable, because ultimately your team needs to win games. I think there's other awards out there that you can win that doesn't necessarily symbolize most valuable. And I definitely think that they're both up for plenty of those awards. Actually, I said it to him. It was the second game that we were there. I was talking to him at first base. I was like, hey, I think it'd be a really cool moment for us and the fan base to share this together. He was like, yeah, I think it'd be a great idea. Obviously, you could kind of see when I went back to Toronto, the fans showed their appreciation for me. I wanted to show my appreciation to them and also to the team that they have here today and for what Vlad's been able to do this season. Yeah, I mean, I definitely am an advocate of hitting the ball hard in the air, but more line drives. I think people kind of lose a little bit of the effect because they're like, oh, hey, just hit the ball high in the air. That's not necessarily the goal. The goal is to hit a hard line drive and be okay with missing in the air. Not all the time, but that's going to be where, err on the side of failure. I think it's pretty cool. I mean, part of the reason why I started putting information out there was because I felt like hitting was really behind in the times as far as where pitching has evolved to. And I felt like there was just a lot of bad information out there, especially for someone like myself who had failed and tried so many different things. To be able to articulate that in a manner to where people could understand and say, hey, like, all right, well, there's not just one way to do it. There's other ways to do it as well. I felt like that was important for me. Obviously, there's been other people that it's led to success for them as well. For me, if I was able to impact someone's career, I think, or some kid, that was in high school or college or whatever it is, I think that's pretty, I thought I had that platform to be able to do that, and, that meant something to me. Yeah, no, I mean, I think every day it's just understanding my body, understanding where I can be at, constantly trying to figure out how I'm being pitched to, playing that chess match back and forth. And ultimately, I think the numbers, the hard numbers as far as batting average, OPS, RBIs and stuff, they're not quite where I would want them to be. I feel like I've ran into a little bit of bad luck this year. But ultimately, if you look at the analytics side of it, exit velo, barrel percentage, hard hit rate, it's some of the best years I've had in my career. So there's definitely going to be some positives, but I'm always learning and trying to get better. Well, I mean, it's more of like probably your core and using your entire body, your hips to be able to generate. I'm a big proponent. I mean, because if you look at me in stature compared to some other guys in the league, I'm not the biggest guy here that plays in the big leagues. I've been able to produce high exit velos, produce high power numbers throughout the course of my career because I know how to generate and move my body to be able to do that. Yeah, I mean, it's more of kind of like the overall intention of what I'm trying to do at the plate. I want to be able to drive the ball. What gets lost in that too is, I mean, there's situations in the game where it calls for you to be able to hit a ball hard on the ground somewhere. That is also important. But ultimately, what is going to get you noticed or get you seen from a young age to even, a minor league guy or a big league guy is being able to drive the baseball and consistently doing that, not just being able to do it one time, but to be able to do that throughout the course of a season. Good question. Honestly, I felt like all of them have been pretty good choices. I've only really had to make a choice twice, and that was going to the Braves and to here in Minnesota. Obviously, this year is not how we wanted it to go. But I feel like we have a chance. I mean, it's been encouraging for the second half is how we've played, getting some guys healthy again. I'm a big proponent of you make the environment of whatever the situation is, you make that, and you have the choice on how you handle it. And I choose to look at situations in the positive. Well, I'd had conversations with our guys on our team about it too. So it wasn't something I was just pointing the finger at the other side. I was talking to our organization as well. And to me, there's been stuff that's probably been used throughout the game, but this was different. For myself, see as many pitches as I have throughout the course of my career, and then notice that it's different. I didn't feel like it was fair. Because I mean, if you look, hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do of any sport. I think that's pretty much known in the sports communities. So to be able to add substance and to do stuff to where it's not who you really are, it's really one side is the one that's getting the advantage, and we're not, as hitters, there's no advantage for us. I felt like it was an unfair playing field, so that's why I spoke out about it. My argument is that's not in the rule book. Major League Baseball thought it was an unfair advantage. They'd put it in the rule book. It's not my rules. This is in the Major League rule book to where it says putting foreign substance on the ball is illegal. So that's what I was standing up for. I wanted the rule to be enforced. If they wanted to put that we couldn't put, a stick or anything on our bat to be able to grip the bat, take it out. We won't use it, so that's where I stand on that. Well, I think that was more along the lines of when Giolito didn't really like what I had to say after I hit a home run after him. And, he was kind of saying that he wanted me to say it to his face. I was actually at the mall that day and I saw that shirt. I was like, hey, I feel like this is kind of destiny for me to find this shirt today. And I bought it and I wore it. Oh, I'm sure. I mean, at the end of the day, I can't, make everybody happy. To me, and this is something that was taught to me at a young age, if you believe in something, stand up for it. I've never been the type of person to, go down easy. And if I have an opinion about something, and it's something I believe in, what I believe to be true, then I'm going to talk about it. If it's not something that I'm comfortable saying, then, voice my opinion. But most of the time when I say something I've educated about what I try to talk about, it's something that I believe in. Well, I mean, my mom was, she was a fighter. She was reinforced to me that if I wanted to be successful, that I was going to have to go out and work for it. And I was going to have to go out and outwork everybody. Also, with that being said, she always had my back. Through thick and thin, we definitely have a special relationship. I wouldn't be here today without her. And so I have a lot of appreciation for what she's done for me in my life. Good question. I still feel like I have a lot to offer as a player. So I don't really want to say that I'm in the 7th or 8th inning. I feel like I'm probably 5th or 6th, something to offer into this game. And, my body it's been encouraging for how my body's responded in the last month and a half of the season. So, I feel like I'm always trying to get better and I'm trying to learn. Ultimately I'll know whenever I'm done. And whenever I know that day, then that'll be it.